In the past, marketing was about hype and flashiness. If you use this technique now in a culture that has grown jaded from over-commercialization, you will find people turned off instead of turned on. Authenticity is crucial to portraying the proper image in today's online marketplace, particularly on social networking sites. If you lie about a profile or a product, you can be sure in today's interconnected social sites that your reputation will be trashed in no time flat, and this affects both traffic and sales. If you want a cycle of trust, you have to prove yourself trustworthy first. Think of it this way: you wouldn't go out and try to impress a date with a fake job or pretending to be someone you're not. Why? Because this strategy is not only usually easy to see through, but it also has serious consequences if you do scam someone and later they find out. After that, nothing you say is trustworthy. Since trust is the engine for commerce on many social networking sites, you are better off being authentic these days rather than not. It may not be as impressive as pretending to be a millionaire, but it is far more believable and compelling. Learn how to write your story so that it engages a reader, by creating content that is authentic and magnetic and reflects exactly who you are. Your authenticity impacts your ratings. When you are authentic, in your copy and your being, this will show up in the ratings you get from other people rating your content, your sites, and those reviewing your products. On the internet, your ratings end up being your measure of authenticity and can drive traffic to your site as other people recommend different things there. So, when you think authenticity, correlate to your reputation and realize that what you are trying to do is not to schmooze as much as to build a stellar reputation that gets A+ ratings across the internet. This will assuredly drive traffic back to your site. Your personal story. Once you are coming from a point of integrity, don't be afraid to tell your own stories. People love to hear other people's stories and point of views. Learn how to write content that draws people into a new way to look at life that is positive and vibrant. If you can get someone to take just a few steps with you on your own life path, you already having walking all the way home with you. This is where how you write is just important as what you write. That's because when you are telling your personal story in person, we use our spoken word. Online, we rely on our web copy to get that same connection. Flirting non-verbally. Imagine you've attracted someone's eyes at a party and they have come over and introduced themselves, and all you could do was write them a note and pass it because you were robbed of your power of speech? Now, do you realize how much we've relied on different intonations, qualities of our voice, speech inflections, pauses, etc. to get across our stories? These aren't automatically available in our written words if we've never taken the time to learn how to engage someone's emotions through our writing. And that's exactly what we're doing when we're writing web copy. We're flirting and trying to engage someone's emotions. So, when people suggest that content is highly important on the internet, it just simply can't be overrated. It's the vehicle that will either take your sales prospect from mere flirtation, browsing, to taking some action that makes them more committed to buying either who you are as a person or your products. It's also the vehicle that is scanned by search engines to decide whether your copy is worthy of being placed higher or lower on their results pages. That's why when you write good web copy, it not only has to be personable, but also include search engine optimization (SEO) methods that help drive traffic from search engines. And good copy isn't just relegated to websites and search engines. In order to drive traffic to your site, you have to go to many other places on the World Wide Web www, where your potential visitors might be. Just like when you are dating, you have to get out to find people where they are before you can even get to the point where you can start to flirt with them. Except, in this case, you can do this from the privacy of your own home by logging in virtually. You also have to learn a little about how to flirt online to attract sales prospects. One of these strategies is commenting. Yellow power tie, like what you're wearing when you first engage a person and try to make a connection. What do you say? Hopefully, you don't open your mouth and start to talk about politics or religion. Usually, you want to keep it light and fun. You want to have something relevant to say and you want to tease them enough to get them to want to find out more about you. The same is true online, and that's what you are attempting to do when you comment on other people's blogs, groups, social networking profiles, or websites. You are trying to engage them, create a spark and curiosity, and then give them your phone number to be able to allow them to contact you later. In this case, however, your phone number will actually be a backlink to your site. The funny thing is that for search engines, you might be targeting that phrase for SEO by using yellow power tie as your keyword phrase, while the touchy-feely aspect has to show up there for humans to relate to also. So, sometimes, it looks a bit odd, but it all works out. The come on, hopefully, you are getting the swing of this whole interaction. You've approached numerous potential sales prospects. You've put your best foot forward and even given them some references through your online ratings of your reputation. You've either flirted a little and left them wanting more through commenting, or you've got them already on your site hoping to connect with you deeper. Now, you have to give them the come on, the sales pitch on your sales page by supplying a backlink. The come on is all about self-promotion. You have to have a confident attitude and a little daring to ask for the sale. You are going to provide each encounter with your internet digits, which correlates to a backlink to your website or sales pages. Be direct. Okay, you're ready to close this mini interaction. You have to ask for the call to action. It's as simple as that. What good is it to encounter millions of people on the internet if you don't ask them to follow you home? They've gotten a good peek, and you might even try to tempt them with more articles, freebies, or the like to get them to click the link back to you home or sales page. However, if you don't ask them to do it, odds are they won't do it. Why? It's human nature to want to have everything easy and to let other people do the heavy lifting. They're usually really happy to have someone take them by the hand and tell them how they can benefit just for showing up. Make it fun, make it worthwhile, and make it obvious. Use the rules anywhere for maximum effect. It's not all about who you are and what you do. Often, the environment you choose to implement these social connecting rules has a lot to do with your success. To expand our metaphor, if you are looking specifically for women who can bear you children and want to marry, should you be attempting to connect with over 40-year-old divorcees with several children of their own? Obviously, no. Most of these women are past their childbearing years and are content with their own children. So, you would look to a younger demographic, if that was the target you had in mind. This way you increase the possibility of greater success simply by choosing the demographics carefully and limiting your efforts to an environment that can produce better results for meeting your goal. Similarly, to increase traffic, you will have a natural connection with one demographic over another. These are the people you want to target to market. And, it all depends on the market niche you are trying to expand and engage more traffic within. While you don't have control over who will ultimately be interested, you do know what you are offering and which online demographic this would appeal to. Use that knowledge to carefully target your efforts to the places that can produce the maximum results. To increase your chances of scoring more traffic, you have to get as many people to view your copy with the backlink embedded within it. To do this, you will pick different places on the internet that are relevant to your market niche or can be used to heighten your exposure to as many people as possible. These can be highly rated blogs, websites, social networking sites, groups, and directories. There are many other areas you can explore, but for the sake of this report, we are only going to go over a few areas to explore and work your online connecting magic.